lovelies, I'm Marley Bird, and this is section 4 of the Tournament of Stitches 2020. This is the knitting version of the Tournament of Stitches, and we are working along together over this 5-week period to create a beautiful mosaic stitch scarf or infinity cowl. This is a mystery make-along, and you might be thinking to yourself, well, if it's a mystery, why did you just tell me what we're making? The trick here is that you don't exactly know what the mosaic stitches are, but you do know you are making a scarf or what you could turn into an infinity cowl. This is a very fun project and it's highly addictive. I promise you, once you get started, you are going to be like, I cannot get enough. Having said that, I know there are some of you that have not gotten started yet, and I want you to know it is not too late. Simply go to the link provided in the video description box right down there below. That link will take you to the main blog post, and at the bottom of that blog post, you will see links to each section of the pattern as they are released. Simply click the section that you need to create first, starting with number 1 all the way to number 10, and then the border, and you will be able to join in whenever you are ready. For those of you who have completed your homework, let's go ahead, grab your project and that pattern and begin. By this point in the pattern, you've completed 3 different sections of this project. This was the last one we completed, and can I tell you, I seriously love this one. I am such a sucker for this particular stitch pattern. I love the way it all fits together. The next section we will add to this project is a lot of fun. I had a good time with some squares and putting them together to make a very unique geometric collaboration. You can see here I started off with just some smaller squares, and then I went out to make larger squares. And then I was like, well, what if I flip it and I do the same thing over here? And then what if I flip that and do that over here? And what if I flip that and do that over here? Sort of like a tessellation. I loved the way this looked, and so when we plotted it all out, added in our slip stitches, we get a really great and unique look. This is a fun stitch pattern to work up together. Just like the other sections, we will be working a mosaic slip stitch pattern. So as you take a look at your chart or your written instructions, you will notice once again that you are changing colors every 2 rows, or if you think about it, every time you get back to where both colors on the same side. And then whenever you see that V, that's when you will be slipping stitches. Now in this particular stitch pattern, we do have a couple sections where we have more than 2 stitches slipped at a time. You can see here we have 3 stitches slipped in a row at these points. And then right here in the center, we have 5 stitches slipped across at those points. Okay, just like when we did section number 1, we want to make sure that we keep our stitches nice and spaced out and we don't allow that float to get too loose or too tight. There has to be that really nice median right in the middle. All right, let's go ahead, grab our homework and get started on this lovely section. Okay, just as before, we will be working along our stitches here. I've gone ahead and worked up my 10 rows with my color A and my 2 rows with my color B. I'm getting ready to begin row 13 with my color C. I did not weave in my ends yet from before, so you can see they're kind of tangling around there. I will end up weaving them in at the end of this section because that just drives me nuts. Don't forget that I highly recommend weaving in all of your ends at the end of each section. Don't wait till the very end of the project. Yes, I just tied on my new color onto my last color. I like to do that because it holds the color in place for me. One last thing to remember here is we are switching back to our larger needle. And so I have my larger needle in my hand and I will begin row 13. So we start off with a knit 1 and then we slip 1. Then there's a lot of knit stitches here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I think that's all of them. I'm just going to make sure here. So I'm going to bring this down and I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I will slip one, and then I will knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, just needed to make sure. So that was 7, and now I slip one, and I'll do 7 again. And then I repeat that. So I slip one, knit 7. Slip one, knit 7. Make sure your stitches are spaced out. Slip one, and then I'm going to knit all the way to the end. When I turn my work, I'm no longer going to use my smaller needle, so I'm going to set that aside. I usually set it aside. Let me show you what I do. Oh, maybe not. The yarn just fell off my table. I usually stick my smaller needles into my color A, so that way I know I need to switch back to them when I have to use that color again. But it just fell on the floor and I'm not going to reach for it. So I'm just going to turn my work and keep going. All right, so I'm going to turn my work and I will read my stitches as they're on my needle, so I don't have to look at my actual chart or my written instructions. Every time I see a stitch made with color C, I will knit it because I'm using color C. And when I see a stitch in color B, I will bring my yarn forward and slip it. Then bring my yarn back to the front, or back to the back, and then knit across. When you get to the end and you turn your work, we will be changing colors. So make sure you're keeping your yarn nice and in order. I am going to let you guys in on a little secret here. So as the scarf gets longer here, I usually will roll up my scarf so that way as I turn my work, I don't let it get all flopping around. I let it kind of rest either on the table or in my lap, so that way it's not all over the place. So it's a little suggestion you can do if you wish. I am going to, let's see, drop my old, pick up my new, and carry on. Now, because I am moving on to the next row up, I am going to bring my Post-it notes back in here, and I'm going to block off all of the stitches that are above the row I am on. So I am on row 15. Let's make sure I have it all in order here. And voila. So I know I can carry on this row, and I am using my color B. And away we go. Let's hope I have enough yarn going on here. So I start off with a knit 2, slip 1, knit 5, slip 1, knit 1, slip 1, knit 1, slip 1, knit 3, slip 1, knit 1, slip 1, knit 5, slip 1, knit 1, slip 1, knit 1, slip 1, knit 3, knit 1, slip 1, slip 1, knit 1, slip 1, knit 5, slip 1, knit 1. Okay, turn my work and follow the colors back, just like before. I know you know how to do this part, so I will skip right on ahead. When you get to the end of the row and turn, of course, it's time to change colors once again. Just be consistent with how you change your colors. It just helps with the finishing part of it all, that's all. And I have to move my Post-it up, just like all of you. And I come up to row 17, make sure I'm not covering anything. So we are on row 17. Let's get started. We're using color C, and we start off with a knit 1 and then slip 1. And then we knit 5. Then it's slip 1, knit 1, slip 1, knit 1, slip 1, knit 1, slip 3, so 1, 2, 3, knit 1. Now I'm going to make sure here that I have my stitches nice and spaced apart, so that way this float is not too tight, but I also don't want it too loose. I just want to make sure it's nice and comfortable there. Can you see that? Okay, so that was my 3, and then I knit 1, and then I slip 1, and then I knit 5. Slip, knit, slip, knit, slip, knit, slip 3, and then knit 1, slip 1, knit 5, slip 1, knit 2. Turn our work. And once again, follow the colors back. So if it's a color C, knit it. If it's a color B, bring your yarn forward and slip it. Bring your yarn back to the back, and then knit the ones that are color C. Yarn forward, slip, yarn back, knit, yarn forward, slip 3, yarn back, knit. Now this one, remember, you want to make sure that that float there is just like the one before it, okay? I tend to accidentally make these ones a little bit tighter, so I know that for myself, I take a little bit of extra time when I'm floating my stitches along the wrong side row, because I tend to make them a little bit tighter. And I don't know if that's because I'm a continental knitter or not, but it is something that I'm aware of on my own. So if that happens to you, just take your time as well. So I slip and continue on. Here we are for the 3. I'm going to bring that back. So I just make sure they're spaced out before I knit that one. See, it just takes a little bit of extra time, a little bit of extra thought, but it's worth it in the end when you get these really great geometric shapes. I simply love them. I think they are so fun to make, both in knitting and crochet. I don't know how many of you are following along with the crochet version of the Tournament of Stitches, but boy, it is just beautiful. It's just riveting the way it looks. I love it so much. All right, so I have turned my work. Here we are. We're really starting to get something here, and we're ready to switch colors. So here is something that's happening with me with this yarn management here. I need to make sure I keep my yarn nice and organized. I'm sure you're having the same issues on your end. Just do the best you can. I usually have my yarn in a project bag, so that way I can easily keep it all organized. I really love the Aran Lane bags, 2 for bags, because it helps me keep my yarn super organized as I'm working with it, especially when I'm working with multiple colors. If you're interested in some of those twofer bags, I'll put a link in the video description box below. I'll also stick a little I button right there so you can see the Erin Lane bags because they're pretty darn awesome. All right, so I've turned my work. Let's move my Post-it note. I want to work through a lot of these with you so that way we are sure to make sure that all of the slip stitches are looking the way they should. All right, so I've moved up to row 19 and grab my yarn. Make sure I have some yarn coming out of the holder here. All right, whew. Are we ready? Ready to get started? Do you guys feel like you're doing like a knit night with me? Sorry about that. Okay, so 19, let's see, I just finished gray, so I should be using my off-white, my lace. So, see me? I always have to check myself. And it was convenient because I saw that the first stitch was that off-white color, so I knew that I needed to use my off-white. All right, or it's called linen. All right, so I knit 2, slip 1, knit 3, slip 1, knit 1, slip 1, knit 1, slip 1, knit 1, slip 1, knit 3, slip 1, knit 1, slip 1, knit 3, slip 1, knit 1, slip 1, knit 1, slip 1, knit 1, slip 1. All right, so there's 4 slip ones, and then I knit 3, and then slip, knit, slip, knit 3, and then slip, knit, slip, knit. Oop, I missed one right there. So I'm going to tink back and fix that one because I must have done something funny. All right, so that was a slip. What was it? So you have a knit. I see slip. That should have been a knit, and I didn't knit it. There you go. Let's make sure it's on my needle correctly. Knit it. There we are. And then slip, and then knit. Perfect. All right, so now I can turn my work, read my knitting on the opposite side, and just carry on. When you get to the end of row 20 and we flip our work, it's really starting to look like something here, right? We're starting to get the bottoms of those squares I talked about. It's really going to start to take shape, and we're coming up to where we're going to have those slip 5s coming up. So we really want to pay attention to that. So I'm going to go ahead, bring my chart over, float this up, and this is where we're looking at the slip 3s once again. So we want to be very conscientious of those slip 3s. And we are going to use color C. So make sure my colors are in the correct place. And let's put that over there. I try and have the whole skein just jump one over the other. All right, there we are. I have my color C in hand, and we are ready to get started. Are you ready to get started? All right, let's do this. With color C, we start off with a knit 1, then we slip, knit 1, and here we go. We're slipping 3. So 1, 2, 3. I want to make sure that they're nice and spaced out the way I need them to be before I jump over here to knit the next one. Okay, I want to make sure that float there is not too tight. I think that looks good. And I carry on with a slip, and then a knit, then a slip, and then a knit, and then a slip. And now I'm going to knit 5. Here we go. Okay. At this point, you really want to make sure that these are not puckering in and pulling in on themselves, okay? You want to make sure they're nice and I want to say relaxed, that they're the same gauge as what you've created in the fabric before. All right, so here we go. So I slip one, I knit one, I slip three, make sure those are spaced out nicely, then I knit one, slip one, knit one, slip one, knit one, slip one, knit five, got that. Now I slip one, knit one, slip three, knit one, slip one, knit two. Whew. Looking good, looking good. Gosh, I love mosaic stitches. They make me so happy. Okay, let's turn our work and work our way back just as before. We got this. When you get to those three, don't forget to make sure they don't get too tight on this side. Alrighty, so time to turn our work. Take a look at what we have here. It's starting to really look lovely. All right, so we're going to change colors again. I need to move my Post-it notes up to mark my next row. And so this is row 23. We are going to work row 23 together. You guys ready to do this? So we just finished with this color. So I'm going to grab this color, pull that over there. I like to have my yarn on my left side because I hold my yarn on my left side, or I hold my yarn on my left side, so it just makes sense for me. Okay, so with color B, we begin with a knit two. Whoops, let's do that one again. Split that yarn there. So I knit one, knit two, slip one, knit three, slip one, knit one, slip one, knit one, slip one, knit five, slip one, knit one, slip one, knit three, slip, knit, slip, knit, slip, knit five, slip, knit, slip, knit three, slip, knit, slip, and knit. There we go. That's the end of row 23. Turn our work and we begin row 24. I know that this is a lot of repetitive stuff for you, but I had somebody leave a comment and tell me that it was very relaxing and motivating to watch me work along these rows with you. So I thought that in this video, I would work along as many of the rows as I could with you before we end the video. So if you feel like you are good and you've got this covered, please feel free to go ahead and smash that like button and leave your comment below letting me know that you're enjoying this so far, and then you could go on your merry little way and I'll see you at the next section. But if you are enjoying working along with me, simply stick around and let's just continue working through this pattern together. What do you say? I think it works for whatever works best for you. This is a make along, right? So why not actually make along with one another. Alrighty, it's the end of row 24. We're gonna turn our work. Da, 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 da. Let me turn my work here. Oh, that's looking so good. So good over here. Loving it. Loving it. You guys loving it so far too? I know I am. For real. Okay. Again, all the yarn management stuff takes half the time away from me. There we go. Put that one over there. And we are ready to move on. I need to move my Post-it notes up. We are on row 25. So make sure I'm blocking all the rows that are not 25. And we continue. So row 25. Start off with a knit 1, slip 1, and then I am going to knit, I think that's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, slip 1, and then knit 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, slip 1, and continue on. This last one, it's knit 8 because you have that one extra all the way down there. So here we go. Look at this. Oh yeah, baby. Looking good. Looking really good. All right, so we'll turn our work and work our way back. I need to get some more yarn. Alrighty, so we're coming up here to the end. Let's turn our work here. Take a look. Ooh, boy, that looks so good. Doesn't that look great? Okay, let's grab our chart here. And we are 2 rows away from having to make that slip 5. So I'm going to move my marker up right here. And this is like where the pattern sort of reverses here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Look at that. There are 9 white ones right there. Okay. Here we go. So grab my linen color, pull that up, switch their position here, and away we go. So I start off with a knit 1, and then let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's 6. And then I slip 1, and now I knit 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and I slip 1, and then I knit 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, slip 1, knit 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, slip 1, and then 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, slip 1, and finish with a knit 3. Very good. Okay. So I will work my way back. We will do that pretty quickly here. And then we will be on the row where we have the slip 5. And I want to make sure I get you through that row here before we end the video. So let me get back down. This would be row 28. Lots of knit stitches, not many slipped ones here. Okay. All right. We get to turn our work again and get everything working together here. That over top of that one. Make sure all that yarn's there. Let's take a look at what we have. It's starting to look very good. I'm going to bring this in and move this up. Now this is where I have my slip 5, okay? So this is really sort of the midway point here. And this is one of the areas we need to be very careful of. I will let you know, for those of you who are like, I really don't want to do a slip 5. If you wanted to, you could make it to where you slip 2 and then knit that 1 and then slip 2 more. It'll just make your work look a little bit different. You'll have a dot right there and a dot right there. But if you wanted to do it, you could. Just throwing that out there. But I am going to slip 5. I think it looks better. Okay, let's do row 29 together. Row 29, we have our color C in our hand. And let us begin. So I start off here, let's see, this is a knit 5 total here at the start. So 1 and 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then I slip 1, and then I knit 5 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And here's where I'm slipping 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if I slip those 5, I want to make sure that they're nice and spaced out. I don't want that float to be too tight. I like it right there. So I knit 1. Notice I put my finger on that knit stitch so it doesn't get any tighter. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I'm just going to make sure all that looks good. I think that looks good. Yeah, I'm happy with that. All right, so now we have to slip 1 and then knit 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here's where we slip 5 again. So 1, 2. If you wanted to, you could knit this one. You see how I mean? See what I mean about it gives you a dot there? I don't want a dot. So I'm going to go ahead and slip my 5 and then knit my next one. I'm going to make sure that that float is nice, neat, and even. I think that looks good. So 1, again, I'm holding my knit so it doesn't get any bigger as I knit my next 5. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slip 1 and then knit 4. I have to be very careful on the way back too that I keep those floats even once again. So I will turn my work and then we will work our way back. Grab my needle here. Grab my yarn. And away we go. So I will knit all of the color C. When I see color B, I will slip. Okay, so here's my slip 5. Again, once I knit that first one, I usually will hold it in place just so it doesn't get any tighter as I knit the next 5. Grab more yarn. All right, let's turn our work and see what we got. Wow, that is so cool. That is looking so good. And at this point, you can really tell that it's looking just like the chart with those little squares. See those squares right there? So there's a square, there's a square, there's a square, there's a square. See how that works out? All right, so I feel like at this point you could carry on with the rest of the chart on your own because we did the same thing down here. We've just went past that middle point, so we are on row 31 right there, and I'm gonna leave you to it. The only thing I want you to remember is when you get to the end of the chart, make sure you switch back to your smaller needles when you're working with your color B on the last 2 rows, and then you'll be ready to continue on with section 5. We always start off with those 10 rows of garter stitch with color A, so that's my little tip from me to you as a little secret, just because you lasted through the video this entire time. If you wanted to continue on with color A with those 10 rows so you're ready for the next section ahead of time, why don't you go ahead and do that? I hope you're having a great time. If you are, make sure you smash that like button and share with us on social media. Use hashtag MarleyBird or hashtag Tournament of Stitches. If you like this pattern, I have many more slip stitch patterns available at marleybird.com, both for knitting and crochet. Make sure you go and have a little gander at the free patterns available at marleybird.com, or you could always purchase the ad-free PDFs. I'll talk to you guys again in the next section. Good luck! Thanks so much for joining me on the Marley Bird YouTube channel. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to hit subscribe. I've put a link right over there, or you can watch a couple of the videos I've already selected for you right down there. If you want to follow me on social media, I've put my links right over there. You can have all Marley all the time. Bye guys!